সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, বিরতির পর আপনাদের সবাইকে আবারও আমন্ত্রণ কমিউনিটি ম্যাটার্সে। আমরা মাগরিবের নামাজের বিরতিতে ছিলাম, মাগরিবের আজানের বিরতিতে ছিলাম। আমাদের সাথে এই মুহূর্তে যারা জয়েন করেছেন তাদের সাথে আমি আবারও পরিচয় করে দিচ্ছি। আই হ্যাভ Professor Osama Khan. He is Vice Provost Education of University of Surrey. I have Executive Mayor of London Borough of Tower Hamlets, Mr. John Biggs, and I also have Yusuf Furkan. He is a student from London School of Economics and Political Science, and he is former president of London School of Economics and Political Science, Bangladeshi Society. Thank you all three of you for joining us today. So Mr. Professor Osama Khan, if I come to you, if you can kindly tell me that we know that universities and university students, they are adversely affected by this situation. So what you and your colleagues all across the UK, what you are doing to mitigate those adverse conditions?
Thank you very much. One of the most important things that we decided within the university sector, that the most important stuff that we need to ensure is the safety and make sure the lives are being saved within the university community. So whatever we do, whichever way we would like to continue our education agenda and research agenda, it has to ensure that we are looking after our community, the staff and the student. So one of the things that we had to do literally at extremely high speed is to convert our educational provision to online. It is a very difficult thing, and sometimes we give an analogy that if you ask tonight Tesco to be like Amazon and you give Tesco only a week time to do that, this is exactly the kind of transformation we have faced in the university sector.
Right.
So within a week time, for example, at the University of Surrey, we started to teach online, we started to examine online and give coursework online, which is a mammoth task because unlike Open University, Surrey and many other 154 British universities are not equipped to teach online. And we also have to stop some of the critical research we are involved with because social distancing meant our researcher couldn't access labs and facilities. So we are only doing research which are directly going to help the country in this pandemic situation.
Right, right. Thank you so very much. We have Yusuf Furkan. Yusuf Furkan, he is former president of Bangladeshi Society of London School of Economics and Political Science. Yusuf Furkan, if you can kindly tell us how you and your friends are affected by this situation and what sort of measures your university has taken so far and what sort of measure you recommend them to take to mitigate this crisis.
Yeah, thank you. I think most students have been faced with as with most of the country, uncertainty, especially when it comes to their studies and their degree. Exam season is extremely close, and as Mr. Executive Mayor has mentioned, we're facing a situation where professors have had to take this mammoth task of making everything online. But on top of that, the online exams, it's been a two-way effect for professors to find a way to take the exams, to administer the exams online, and for us to find a way to sit them. A lot of students, especially international students, they may be in rural areas where they don't have, the internet connection isn't as good, or when it comes to submitting so many, the submission of everyone's exams in time, and with the lag, internet connection issues. There's a lot of challenges that we face that they're completely different and unexpected and out of the blue. But the university has maintained constant communication with us, so that has been a huge plus. At least most of the time, we're quite aware of what steps they're taking, how they're thinking about it, and overall, there's a sense of sympathy towards the students from the universities, from every university in every communication. I'd say moving forward, there's a big need for universities to continue these updates. It's important for us students to know exactly what we're facing, the situation we're in, especially because we're at home all the time, and the stress is heightened. We're very in a situation where the world around us has changed, and we're sort of having to think about exams and our future at the same time. I say for students as well, it's important to use this time effectively but it's really important for us to not stress out too much.
Right, thank you. Thank you very much. You mentioned a very important point, that the timing was very critical, and it was not just the right time, because considering the term end was coming, term end was coming very soon. So university had to take, very drastic measure very quickly to mitigate the situation. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned about people, you and your colleagues, you are helping people, those who are actually in need of food, particularly people, those who are at low earning end. Would you be able to mention some of the projects that you have actually initiated from London Borough of Tower Hamlets, or from your own personal capacity to help the people, those who need it most?
Okay, for feeding, first of all, we have shared with the health service and the government a list of people who are very vulnerable because of their ill health. So they may have an underlying medical condition, which would mean that if they caught the virus, they would be at far greater risk. And those people are isolating, and they're given the option of having a free food delivery to their home every week for themselves and their family. And we're organising that alongside the government. Secondly, there's a lot of people who are self-isolating, and if they are vulnerable and self-isolating, if they live on their own, then we're providing support either directly ourselves or by working with the food banks. The food banks have been given some fairly large donations of food by various companies and also through the government. And we're also working on providing meals for kids, of course, because kids aren't in school, and normally many of them would have a free school meal, and we're providing that through either a voucher scheme or by providing a meal directly to them. And we're also working with a group of voluntary organisations. So, for example, Darul Ummah Mosque in Shadwell are reaching out to people in the immediate area, providing support, counselling, food if necessary, helping people with things if they are nervous or unable to leave their homes. So there's a lot of work in that area. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, John. John, social distancing is very important. That has been a priority from the government. That has been a priority from experts and scientists. Recently, we have seen, particularly in Tower Hamlets, while people are shopping, we have seen people are not following those rules and regulations. What do you have to say to them, those who are not taking it seriously, and they are actually, they themselves, they are in danger. They are also causing problem to the community. What is your message to them?
Well, I've got two messages. The first one is they need to take care because they could catch the coronavirus themselves and it could hurt them. But the more important message is a lot of those people are young and fit. But if you catch the virus, you may have no effect whatsoever on yourself. But you may take it home, you may give it to one of your elders or a relative who has a poor health condition, and they may get it, and it could even kill them. So this is a really serious problem. And the social distancing is not just to look after you, but it's to look after your community as well, and your neighbours and your family. So people really need to understand. I find it hard to understand how people haven't got that message yet. But if we can use programs such as yours to get that message across and quite how important it is, then that would be a massive service. I mean, I know people will get frustrated. They'll get frustrated with being stuck at home, with not being able to work. They may get fed up with each other being stuck in the same house together. But if we can get through this, then we're going to be safer if we follow these rules than if we don't. It's as simple as that, really. And I think people are getting that. A problem I have, I guess, is we're naturally sociable people. So if I'm with people, I don't really want to stand 6 feet from them. I'd like to stand 2 feet from them. I'm really close friend, a bit closer than that, I guess. But the natural thing is to be closer to people. People naturally gravitate towards each other, but they should really keep that distance, or else they're going to hurt themselves or someone accidentally.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, John, you highlighted a very important issue, that social distancing is not just to keep yourself safe. It is also at the same time to keep your family and your community safe as well. So, people, those who are not following the rules and regulation, the terms and condition of lockdown or social distancing, they do need to take it seriously. Is it something you are highlighting? Are you not?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's a particular issue for the British Bangladeshi community, because there are still quite a lot of people who live in extended family networks. You may have an elderly person living in the same household as young people. The young people may go out, and hang out with each other on the street, and they have very, very little chance of having a bad result if they even catch the virus. But if they give it.
Thank you very much. Thank you all three of you for joining us today on NTV Europe via video call. We need to go for a quick break. Once we come back, we'll have further conversation. সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আজকে কমিউনিটি ম্যাটার্সে আমরা কথা বলছি করোনা ভাইরাসের লেটেস্ট আপডেট যুক্তরাজ্যের, তা নিয়ে আমরা যাবো একটা বিরতিতে, আমাদের সাথেই থাকবেন।